Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jen and I'm really excited you're here. Today we're going to be talking about how I pose for my Instagram photos. So in case these are tips that are helpful for you when you are posing for photos, you don't have to be a model. I'm not a model, I'm just a mom and I like to pose for photos. So let's do this. Alright, so for those of you who follow me on Instagram, you may recognize this glorious backdrop. This stucco is my home, literally home for when I'm posing and home because I get to live here. Alright, so we're going to be talking about 4 main poses that I do. The first one is going to be, the first 2 are going to be torso shots. The first one I call a garage shot. I'll tell you why in a minute. The second one, the Rachel shot. I'll also tell you why in a couple minutes. And then a full body shot as well as a sitting down shot. Let's get started with the first one, garage shot. I call this the garage shot just because Lauren, who's on the other side of this camera, Lauren, can you say hi?
Hey guys.
She's usually taking my photos for me, that or Cindy or Liz. Anyways, I think I'm gonna do a video on like the team behind Interior Designerella because you guys, I cannot do this on my own. Anyways, whatever amazing girl is behind the camera, I have like these nicknames for them so they know exactly what it is I'm trying to accomplish. So I call it the garage shot just because I took this shot in front of my garage so many times. So it's called the garage shot. All right, so when I'm in front of my garage doing the garage shot, it's basically like a straight on picture of my torso. And I personally like to have my pictures look candid. So when it's a straight on, like if the camera is straight on, I think I'll have Lauren show you, but and you're looking at my body, I am going to tilt my head out and down just a little bit. So this kind of frames my like jawline so you see it a little bit better. It also prevents me, I'm talking for me, I get like a double chin sometimes, like when you're like looking up this way. So to try and make my face look a little bit more, what were I looking for, Lauren?
Chiseled.
Chiseled, yes. Well, that makes me feel like I'm Gaston. Did you know I met the guy who played Gaston at the Emmys? Yeah, he's really handsome.
I couldn't figure out who he was.
Yeah, I was like texting Lauren, I was like, Lauren, who did I just meet? Look him up. She like asked all of her sorority girls. No, anyway, so, okay, how to be Gaston. Not Gaston, how to look chiseled. Okay, so my jawline, head is instead of back, like my head is going to be out and down a little bit, and I like to look off to the side. Usually I have some sort of like profile shift, and I move a lot when I take pictures, you guys. So we probably take like what, like 100 of like the same thing, and then I found like one that I like. So don't be afraid, like the perfect shot doesn't actually have to be perfect, like you're just kind of moving and grooving. All right, so, and this is again just what I do, you don't have to do this. Okay, so to make myself like, to accentuate my waistline or make it look a little bit slender, I can like twist my hips a little bit this way, and then if I have my chin kind of down and out, I also will like pop a knee sometimes, and when I'm thinking about the composition in my photo, I don't want to be just like this little line in my photo. Like I want to be able to use up the photo space. So I usually have like the hip popped out, I might lean to one side while I tilt my chin, and I like to move back and forth. So I might like flip my hair, ha ha ha, big smile. I'm just kind of like moving around. I'm constantly moving while Lauren or whoever is going click, 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 click with my camera. Again, kind of leaning forward to now I'm twisting my torso, my body, also my shoulder. If I twist my hips back, I kind of keep my shoulder a little bit forward, and again that helps to use up the camera space. Instead of getting kind of lost this way, I have my knee popped, I have my shoulder forward, I kind of move my hands around. So with every torso shot, whether it's a garage shot or a Rachel shot, such official terms here, I generally try to get right where my knee is or right above my knee or below my knee. Anyways, generally right around my knee. I feel like the more you get of your quad, your thigh, the longer it will make your legs look in a torso shot. And then also I was going to say too, you can play around with your placement of elbows. So you can have your elbows be out. If my elbows are out, I try and roll my shoulders forward a little bit more. You're going to get more of like a clavicle here. You'll get more of like your shoulders. And then if it's not with shoulders or with arms out, then I'll try and have like my arms down by my side where I bring my elbows in just like a little bit, like I'll bring it back behind my waist. So I play with like my elbow placement. Sometimes I'll drop my hand in front, or if I have like a prop, like a purse or a coffee cup, and you can use it and play around with it in your motion so you can kind of frame your body that way. If I want something to appear like it's using more of the photograph, then maybe I'll have my coffee cup up here. Oh, something really important to note. whatever is closest to the camera is going to appear bigger. So if I have my coffee cup or a purse and I bring my hand out this way, my hand is probably going to look very big compared to the rest of my body. So you can play around with, like, if you don't want your hand to look ginormous, then maybe just bring your elbow back a little bit, bring your bag, you know, same thing with the bag. Like a bag might look really big. If you turn and twist and it's like the first thing that the camera is capturing, it might look really big. So just anyways, pro tip, you can go ahead and gauge how far you want to reach towards the camera or not. So that leads me into the next shot that I'm gonna call the Rachel shot. Sometimes I want to appear bigger in a picture, or maybe I want to appear like more distant in the picture. If you want like a straight on, like raw shot, I just have it angled like this. Here's the camera right here. If you want to have more of a Rachel shot, then you angle it down, and this is going to have my shoulders appear broader and my legs are going to be smaller. You kind of want to play around with it because you don't want to look like your legs are like super teeny tiny. So there's like an optimal, well, whatever you think is optimal, then you can go ahead and experiment with the angle of your camera. So anyway, so grab shot, Rachel shot, you angle it a little bit. We use the Rachel shot a lot if there's a lot of detail. So I typically don't include my full face in a Rachel shot. Sometimes I'll completely cut it out if I'm just focusing on like an outfit. Let's say I have something that has a lot of lace, or I have some really pretty necklaces or earrings that I would like to be accentuated. This is a great way to do Rachel shot. Now, I call it a Rachel shot because my friend Rach from Pinteresting Plans does a lot of these, and so when I was trying to like convey to the girls like how I wanted the composition, I was like, do like Rach, do a Rach, and it just became like Rachel shot. So anyways, if you're not following Pinteresting Plans already, definitely, she's awesome and I love her. And as a reminder, because it's a torso shot, you want to include at least up to your knees to make your legs look a little bit longer in the Rachel shot versus cutting it off. But again, you can play around with what your goal is for the photo. Okay, so next up we're going to be talking about how I take my pictures full body. And you guys, I'm not that tall. I am 5'6". I get people who meet me in person, they're like, oh, I thought you were so much taller. Okay, so for how I pose full body, I am always like trying to be in motion too. And I try to put one foot out because I feel like that is going to elongate me. And also the gal behind the camera is usually low, like on their knees. I will try to put one leg out, and then I might even lean forward. And remember my chiseled Gaston sort of thing? I try and have like my head down and out. And I'm twisting my hips as I pose. I'm stepping. I'm like kind of going back and forth, like making it look candid and laughing, leaning forward. I might flip my hair, things like that. There are different ways that you can move. Also thinking about your shoulders, whether they're back, if you have them to like completely to the side, or you bringing them forward. Just kind of playing around with like your hair, your accessories, and I feel like to get like the perfect like candid stride or stepping, it takes me like 50 of these. But now I'm going to show you how I sit down and take some photos, and I love sitting down shots. I feel like these can make your legs look really long, or if you don't want to, then there are different ways that you can also pose so that you don't look really long. But I like to make my legs look a little bit longer. Alright, so depending on your angle, like I don't really like to get a crotch shot, so I'll often have my legs in this position. It's the leg that is facing the camera, that's the one that's out, and then the leg that is behind it is usually just bent in here, so that way you can see both of my feet, you can see both my shoes, and I'll typically lean back as well. I might flip my hair, I'll do the same thing. I'm in candid motion while I'm posing, and someone's going click, 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 click a whole bunch. Have my feet kind of apart. You can lean your foot, if you, again, whatever is closest to the camera is going to look bigger or longer. So I might like have this foot like lean out a little bit more. I might turn my body, practice arching my back, or maybe not arching it as much, so you can kind of play around with how you do your body. But again, this is my typical go-to for how I pose. All right, you guys, so those are my basics of how I pose. I hope that's helpful. I've had a few girls ask me, how do you pose for Instagram? And yes, I do it out in public where people are watching me, and I'm like, ha ha ha, I get lots of stares walking by, but it's all good. I love my job and I love you guys. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so by clicking subscribe below and that little bell button for notifications. I am looking forward to sharing more of my life with you guys coming up every Saturday. Have a great day.